What happened to the Nautilus? The last transmission. The Nautilus was the pride of the Deep-Sea Exploration Unit, an advanced, nuclear-powered submarine designed for deep-water research. It had set out on a routine mission to explore the depths of the Mariana Trench. Aboard were a seasoned crew of 15, led by Captain Edward Hale, a man known for his unshakable resolve. 2 weeks into the mission, communication with the Nautilus ceased. At first, it was believed to be a technical failure, but when the days stretched into weeks with no sign of the submarine, the world took notice. The last transmission received was chilling. "Something is here, watching us. It's not human." And then, silence. A special recovery team, led by Commander Rachel Voss, was assembled to locate the missing vessel. Rachel had once served alongside Captain Hale and knew he wouldn't have let his crew disappear without a fight. Their recovery ship, the Neptune's Wrath, was state-of-the-art, equipped with deep-sea drones, sonar, and a small crew prepared for anything. Or so they thought. Into the deep. As the Neptune's Wrath neared the last known coordinates of the Nautilus, the sea turned hostile. The radar flickered, sonar readings became erratic, and an eerie static crackled through the comms. "Something's interfering with our systems," said Chief Engineer Mark DeWitt, tapping on the flickering monitors. Rachel felt a cold shiver down her spine. "Drop the drones. I want eyes on the seafloor." The drones descended into the abyss, their lights carving through the ink-black darkness. What they found made the entire crew go silent. The Nautilus lay on the ocean floor, tilted on its side. The hull was intact, but the entrance hatch was wide open. No sign of a struggle. No signs of life. The ghost ship. Rachel, Mark, and a small team descended in a submersible, docking onto the Nautilus's emergency airlock. The moment they stepped inside, an oppressive silence surrounded them. Flashlights illuminated the corridors. Water dripped from the ceiling, but there was no flooding. The emergency lights flickered erratically. Something felt wrong. "Where's the crew?" whispered Lieutenant Harris, gripping his rifle. They made their way to the control room. The ship's logs were still intact. Rachel powered up the last recorded footage. The grainy video showed Captain Hale and his crew in a state of panic. "We've seen it. It's not from this world. We're locking ourselves in. If you find this, don't let it in." A loud bang erupted behind them. The presence. Rachel spun around, heart pounding. The sound had come from the med bay. Slowly, the team moved toward the source. The door creaked open, revealing a room filled with discarded uniforms and boots, but no bodies. Then a whisper. Rachel turned her flashlight toward the corner. A single survivor, Navigator James Carter, huddled against the wall, shaking. His eyes were wild with terror. "They're gone," he rasped. "It took them." Rachel knelt beside him. "Who took them? What happened?" Carter's lips trembled. "The dark, it moves. It took them into the vents. We thought we were safe, but it's still here." A sudden, metallic clang echoed from the corridor. Mark raised his weapon. "We need to get out. Now." But the shadows moved. "The hunt begins." The emergency lights flickered violently. A shape emerged from the darkness, tall, grotesque, with elongated limbs that didn't belong in this world. Its skin shimmered like liquid, reflecting their own terrified faces back at them. "Run!" Rachel shouted. They sprinted through the corridors, Carter barely able to keep up. The creature's footsteps were soundless, yet they felt its presence pressing closer. The emergency airlock was just ahead. Mark reached for the control panel. The moment his fingers touched it, the shadows surged forward. A clawed appendage lashed out, wrapping around his leg. He screamed as it dragged him back into the dark. Rachel fired her weapon, the bullets useless against the shifting entity. "Move!" Harris and Carter scrambled into the airlock. Rachel slammed the controls, sealing the door just as the creature's featureless face appeared on the other side. It watched them. It smiled. Then it faded back into the ship. Surface revelation. Back aboard the Neptune's Wrath, Rachel, Harris, and Carter sat in stunned silence. The Nautilus still rested in the abyss, a tomb for the lost crew. "We can't leave it there," Harris said. "We need to destroy it." Rachel nodded. If that thing gets out, we won't be able to stop it. She set the ship's self-destruct sequence remotely. As they ascended, the Nautilus exploded, sending shockwaves through the water. The darkness consuming it was gone. Or so they thought. Back on land, Carter never spoke of what happened. Rachel spent her days reviewing the footage, trying to make sense of what they encountered. But every night, she heard whispers in her room. One evening, she turned on her bathroom light, and her reflection didn't move. It smiled. And the lights went out.